Good afternoon, folks. Hi, Phil McPhail here again with United Country Lifestyle Properties of Maine. And I'm really excited to have a blue sky day, or at least partly blue sky day, because I've been waiting for this to come up here to Mount Chase and show you this new listing I have on Upback Road, 48 acres. That's Mount Katahdin behind me. And it's not the greatest view today because it's wintertime, the snow's blowing on top of the mountain, so most of the mountain is in a flurry. It creates its own little snowstorm up there. This property also has an amazing view of Mount Chase, which is directly behind it. You'll see that here. We're going to take a walk on this property today. This is an off-grid location in a beautiful area. Join me, let's go for a walk in the woods together. So we're going to take a walk in on the lot here now, and while we're walking, I'll tell you a little bit about the location and where we're at. We are located in the town of Mount Chase, and we're up near the northern part of the town, up near where it almost comes up to Aroostook County up here. We're in far northern Penobscot County. We've got about 187 people that call Mount Chase home, so it's a pretty small town. The nearest town you can get any services at is about 6 miles south of us, on Route 11, and that's the town of Patton. Patton's got a lot of little stores, a big hardware store there, a couple of restaurants, gasoline, grocery store, health clinic. You know, small town, but it's got a lot of services for such a small town. The next biggest town from here would be about 32 miles to our northeast, and that's the town of Holton. That's the southern county seat of Aroostook County. Holton's got, Walmart, big Hannaford grocery stores, hospital. So that'd be our nearest hospital would be the town of Holton. Bangor, northern Maine's largest city, is about 95 miles, an hour and a half north of us here. And I'm really excited because I was here a couple of days ago, and there's a huge deer track in my boot tracks. I didn't get my deer this deer season, so can't eat these tracks. Anyhow, Boston is about 330 miles south, and that's about a 5-hour and 30-minute ride. Depends on traffic. Could be more, could be less. This piece of property is mostly hardwood. This is early successional hardwood. There was a timber harvest done here a number of years ago. Now we got moose tracks. Awesome. These are fresh. These weren't here the other day at all. So we got moose, deer in here, still moving through. This is a good area for large white-tailed deer. So this road that comes in here isn't actually, it starts off the property and comes onto the property. So you'd have to bring in maybe 60, 80, 100 feet of driveway to connect up to this old road, or just build another road. We've got some pretty nice elevations here. We'll talk about that. But coming around this corner, I hope the video does it justice, because what a building site this could be. If you went over to my left a little bit at the height of land, you could probably get a view of Mount Chase, which is the mountain you're looking at right now, and Katahdin off to our west. And we're about 1.5 miles in off of Route 11 on Upback Road. And that's a private road. There's only a few people with access to it. But yeah, what a great spot to build a house here, or a cabin, off-grid home. We're surrounded by fields up here on top of the hill, so there's a lot of wildlife uses those in the evenings and nights, and they hang out here in the woods during the day. So let's keep going. We'll keep walking along in here and check out some of this forest. So you can see a lot of the wood that's grown back here since the last timber harvest quite a few years ago. We got poplar in here, white birch, some red maples. There's a little bit of balsam fir, but this is mostly a hardwood lot. We'll see if we can pick our way through this young growth. It's pretty thick. Great cover for deer. This is all unscripted, folks. We don't have any trails here. We're just beating a trail through the woods. We got a little spring right here. Brings me to talk about the elevations here. I can see, you probably won't pick it up on that video, but I can see Katahdin in the Appalachian Mountains off through the woods here. So if you were up here on the top of this hill and you cut the trees down going to our west, you would open up a pretty nice view. And you know, that's something you may want to do. Maybe you just like it nice and private, crowded in here in the trees. And you can see these maples all around us here. So the last timber harvest, they didn't cut it all. They cut a lot of it, but they left a lot here. The elevations on this property run from about 870 feet above sea level to 920 feet above sea level. And like I said, it's not real steep land, but there's some pretty good contours here and there. This is an old trail. The last timber harvest, this was probably one of the skid trails. And you can see what's grown back in those trails. We got 1 to 2 inch poplar and some pin cherries in here and birches. I'm gonna keep walking down through this hill and take a look around. As you can see, Mount Chase gets a fair amount of snow. Well, there's more snow here than anywhere else I've been this year, although further up in Aroostook County, there'll be more. This is a really nice piece of land. You can see the rolling contours. Hopefully you can see that. And according to the NRCS soil mapping on this property, we've got some really good Thorndike soil in here. Almost the entire lot, according to the NRCS site, is Thorndike. Thorndike is a really good soil for growing just about everything. Trees are going to do exceptionally well in it. Our trees up here will grow in just about anything, but they'll do real well in that Thorndike class soil. It's a rocky area, so you'd have to clear rocks if you wanted to plant a garden or do any kind of farming of this. You know, clearing the rocks would be the biggest challenge. And you got some slopes in here to contend with. If you wanted to create farmland, you're going to have to deal with the slopes. But you can see all around us here, we've got hardwood trees anywhere from 15, 16 feet tall and an inch or two in diameter to 35, 40 feet tall, and they're 10 to 12, 14 inches in diameter. So it's kind of hard to tell. So I can kind of give you that breakdown of what's here. Let's keep walking up this trail, see what else we see. All right, we're going to walk down through a little bit more northwesterly. We're going to go over and see if we can find the boundary on the other side, which is a field. This isn't going to be too hard for us to find. While we're walking over there, let's talk about the area that this property is in. A lot of you probably have been up here, but if you haven't, we're 25 miles from the north entrance of Baxter State Park. That's Maine's largest park. Beautiful place, home of Mount Katahdin. Dozens and dozens of hiking trails up there, wild brook trout ponds, very pristine area. You know, besides Katahdin, there's a half a dozen other mountains in the park, and a lot of the peaks are over 3,000 feet. And if you're from the west, you probably don't think that's much, but if you're from the east, those are pretty nice mountains. A little closer than that is Katahdin Woods and Waters National Monument. And if you're not familiar with that, that was a gift to the U.S. government of tens of thousands of acres of land that's in conservation. It's open to hiking and fishing and boating. Sections of the East Branch of the Penobscot River run down through there. And that monument actually abuts Baxter, so it effectively increases the size of Baxter Park, which is huge. Like I said, we got the East Branch of the Penobscot River, 23, 24 miles from here. That's a beautiful river. Probably heard Grand Pitch, big waterfall on that river. That river's got salmon in it, very clean. Seboyce River is a little closer to that, probably 15 miles of the Seboyce River. So we got a lot of things we can do up here in the North Woods. One thing we don't have a lot of up here is people. I haven't seen anybody on this road the last couple of days, and I don't expect to. This There's a couple owners in here that have some large lots. They like their privacy, and they like their deer hunting, because I can see one of their deer stands from where I'm standing. Some big bucks in this area for you hunters out there. All right. And this big stone wall we're coming up to is supposed to be the boundary line, and I do believe it is. It's pretty well painted on the trees along the wall. And you can see the field right behind me. That field is not on this property. That is the neighboring property, and they do like their privacy. They got this posted. So if you come out here without me, please respect the local landowners and their desire to keep this private for themselves. Let's walk south, and we'll head back down, get out to Upback Road, and wrap this video up and give you all the terms. Oh, we're back out here on the road, and thanks for taking the walk with me today here in the woods. It's a kind of a breezy, cool, late fall day, coming pretty close to winter coming on. Before we wrap up with all the terms of this property, don't forget, like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit that notification bell down below. This property is 48 plus or minus acres. The taxes were reported to us at $137 per year by the town, and they say it's not in tree growth. I would want to double check it again, but that's what they told us. It does say in the deed that it was in. Maybe someone pulled it out along the way, but that's the reported taxes for 2023. We've got mostly hardwood here with a little bit of softwood and some pockets of it here and there. Some rolling terrain between 870 and 920 feet above sea level. Beautiful property. Asking price on this is $99,900. You should make it yours today. Give me a call, 800-286-6164. Ask for Phil. Come on up. We'll take a look at it together. And if you get here soon enough, we won't have to take snowshoes in here.